What's up, y'all? Jared Sandler here with you, getting ready for the Rangers and the A's, the second game of a 4-game series. A couple things. I want to talk about what this season might look like the rest of the way. First, a lot of hubbub around Major League Baseball about the substance checks for the pitchers yesterday. Yesterday was the first day. It's going to be a continuous process. But basically, my thought, didn't really impact the game at all. You know, I think these guys would be morons if they were found guilty on the first day, knowing what was going to happen, knowing that the level of vigilance would be much higher. But beyond that, it was done during, in between inning breaks. It didn't really, if you're at the ballpark, you would notice it, but it didn't slow the game down, anything like that. So I don't know that Major League Baseball's handled this situation perfectly. My opinion is that they haven't, but that part of it, all right, cool. It didn't impact the pace of action. Fine with me. All right, so Taylor Hearn's starting tonight. He might go 3 innings, somewhere between 1 and 3. I think the Rangers would at least like to get 2 out of him. Jordan Lyles was scratched. The idea is that, perhaps last start and giving up the 4 home runs was due to some fatigue. Maybe he needs a little rest. It is performance-based. This is a performance thing. They just think the fatigue's a part of that performance. And I think the other part of it is Jordan Lyles is a veteran who's not really a part of the future. And I think we're going to start to see some moves that really are very future-based, even more so than what we've already experienced. Andy Ibanez is up. Nick Solak has not been playing well. I think everyone in this organization probably is rooting for Nick. He's, seems like an awesome guy. He busts his tail. He's the type of guy you want to succeed because he's the type of guy whose example would make a difference. But you still have to produce, and he hasn't. Willie Calhoun, he's got to start producing. At third base, Brock Holt and Charlie Culberson, offer great clubhouse presences. Brock Holt's, giving you good at bats. Charlie, unfortunately, has struggled, but it's not like either guy's a part of the future. And so you might see some guys get opportunities there. Curtis Terry's waiting in the wings. Leody Taveras at some point probably will come back up. There's some other guys from a position player standpoint who might get some chances, and certainly some pitchers. But I do think that, well, it might not be evident every single game. I think we're going to see, I hate to use the word experiment, because to me, when someone says that a player or a thing is an experiment, it suggests that it's just kind of throwing crap against the wall, at least the way that, people use that term. I do think you're going to see the Rangers just do some things differently and maybe not act as a team fighting for a playoff spot would act, which is great. That's what this year should be about, and I think that giving Andy Ibanez and Eli White, pretty much everyday opportunities. Got to figure out what Andy Ibanez is, who Andy Ibanez is. He's 28 years old. You got to figure this out now. Maybe they send a guy like Nick Solak down for a little bit, not as a punishment, but just to say, Nick, we need you to get right. And we feel like going down to AAA is what's best. I don't necessarily think that's what they're going to do. I'm just using that as an example. Some things that perhaps maybe you wouldn't expect, stretching out guys like Taylor Hearn and John King just to figure out what you have in them. Is starting an option for these guys? I just think that the rest of the year could be interesting in that regard. And hopefully we get some fun answers as opposed to answers that are big Dikembe Mutombo rejections. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. Talk to you later.